round 2 of madness. I'm back, baby. Like they said, you can't keep a good woman down. Oh, that was funny. That was too funny. All right, let me share this again. To my groups and all that. Hey guys, I'm back. This has happened before, and it didn't make no sense. Or my camera just kept cutting off. I was like, what the hell? No, but this message is gonna come through the way it needs to come through. Because y'all know I don't play. This message is gonna come. It's gonna come whether people want it to or not. Because I don't do this for people. I do this for the energy. I do this because it matters. It's my soul purpose, baby. Alright, I think that should be good. I got it back to where it was. Alright, y'all. We're back in full effect. Okay, so I just want to make sure. I feel so bad. I guess we'll let everybody else who was in come back in, because we had a good stream going, and then it just conked out almost, kind of. I do not remember where. Almost went back to bed here. Oh, well, thank you for staying up with me. I appreciate you, sweetheart. I couldn't believe that this happened this way, but whatever. All right, let's get back into it, y'all. I wanted to wait because I know these cards are pulled for a specific person. Anyway, the general energy, let's get back into it, is the air and water dragon. And then we also have the silver dragon. So we're dealing with trusting your intuition. And I'm only reiterating this because this video is going on my YouTube channel and they're going to want the full thing. So on your untapped resources are going to be your soul. It's going to be dealing with your higher self, dealing with your nature of reality. Really also being receptive, and that water really helps with that. Also being receptive, you know what I'm saying? The air and water dragon card that we have here teaches you how to surf. It teaches you how to ride that wave. So you want to become a surfer. You want to be the master of the air and the water. You want to become someone that can deal with their emotions and their higher thoughts and figure out a way to sort of ride the wave, especially with what we have going on right now. The way the energy is really moving. All right, y'all. So we pulled some cards from this other deck, from my Chakra Oracle deck, which was my first deck that I actually got. And I still love this deck because it grounds everything. And then I know you guys are dealing with your higher selves right now. You're looking into your souls. You are trusting your intuition. You want to develop your psychic abilities. Express your inner song, especially with this new moon, this black new moon being in Leo. Expression is really big right now. And depending on which house in astrology that you have Leo in, it's really going to make a difference on where you are expressing. So I would look into which house I have Leo in. If you want to figure out where you're going to be expressive. Like for me personally, it's in my 7th house. So I'm going to be expressing Leo, or using that expressive energy more with my relationships, more with reevaluating, communicating with, friends, family, loved ones, that sort of thing. Some of you might not be doing this with your relationships. That's right, air bending and water bending. We're going to become masters of that. So you're going to be grounding those higher thoughts, and then also you got to learn to surf, baby. You got to learn your emotion right now. Okay, so I'm not going to read these stories. I just want to get the intuition from the card. But isolation, when we're dealing with, some people are dealing with isolation right now. Maybe you need to come out of isolation right now, right? And maybe you need to come out of isolation right now. And it's something that you really want to pay attention to, because when we go into hermit mode, sometimes it's really for our best. You know, you go inside yourself, you become that butterfly when you come out of your cocoon. But when is it something that becomes detrimental to us? And now your wings are broken. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with this energy of isolation, especially in communication, because this is blue, this is the throat chakra, you really want to take some time and see, am I just being a hermit? Because now's the time to be expressive, not to be in this. So am I being a hermit, or do I feel isolated in some sort of way? Is this a real perception, or is it something that I'm creating in my reality because I'm nervous, or because I'm scared, because I'm not stepping into my purpose? Because when you know yourself and you know your soul, it ain't nothing, baby, to step into your purpose. So really question that isolation right now. So self-protection, making excuses, over preparing, never feeling ready to take action. That is also a blocked solar plexus. That means that and we are in the solar plexus season. So Leo deals with these solar plexus directly. So you guys are really gonna have to work on, and also not hiring your standards so much that you make everybody else feel like they're beneath you. And that's something we're going to talk about tonight too, with this reincarnation thing, because I came through with some, y'all know I'm going to come with the new. We're not going to subscribe to the old information. We're going to come with the new. And we're going to take time to really dive into these perspectives. So forgiveness was the other card. Who's having a hard time forgiving right now? Who's not able to deal with their emotions? You're having a hard time forgiving. You have to learn to let go and release. You need to see me for a session, baby. Make sure you message me after this, because we got a lot of work to do. Wishes fulfilled, which is good. Holding on to dreams past wounding. So right now is a time that, wow, I'm getting downloaded as I'm speaking. So right now is a time that you really want to learn to forgive others. And in forgiving others, see, forgiveness is something that I'm proficient in, because I've been very good at forgiveness since about 16, 17, maybe younger. Man, you guys are all dealing with the forgiveness stuff right now, huh? So the thing is, when you forgive someone, you release the bondage that you're putting on yourself, because you're creating a cord and keeping that person connected to you, because you refuse to forgive them. So essentially you're creating a cord or a bondage with them when you refuse to forgive. So forgiveness is going to be very important right now, guys. And right now, since there's so much shifting and so many energies are coming in, use that energy to release those cords. Hit me up for a cord cutting if you need one. See, I got plugs for everything, only because I created my services based on me. So I typically have what you need. That sounds weird. I feel like an odd version of the weekend right now. I'm the spiritual weekend. I'm what you need. Okay, let me stop that. I'm getting in my own way. Okay, so it says Rhonda's, which is the rhino here in the story. True essence lies in not harboring resentment. And that was something I had to learn too recently, was to let go of resentment, which I don't really hold on to things like that for a long period of time, because I actually journal a lot and I let my emotions out, because I know that if I keep them in, I'm an earth sign. So when I keep my emotions in and I'm not acknowledging them constantly, shit goes crazy. And my moon is in Cancer, so y'all already know emotionally I'm overthinking everything. And then my sun is in Capricorn, so a bitch is not talking about nothing. I know, feel everything, but I'm not saying nothing. So, you know, I had to come up with some real techniques, because otherwise I would have been screwed up out here. This may be a time for family healing. Can I forgive myself or loving people who hurt me. And I don't think that that's a balanced perspective, honestly. Forgiveness, because her focus is on her intention, not on her pain. Yeah, this person that wrote this probably needs a little help in the healing department. But essentially, what you do is releasing resentment and releasing guilt. So you're going to want to release the guilt of having defiled yourself in such a way. You know what I mean? You essentially sinned against your own soul because you weren't honest with how you were feeling, or you chose to hold on to someone that's no longer serving you. You can absolutely let it go. You can absolutely be free of those emotions and feelings, and you can absolutely move on, and you don't have to feel pain. You don't have to hurt. That is a misnomer. I mean, I've been abused, and if I see my abuser, guess what? I am not triggered because I handled it, and it was layers and layers and layers, like an onion. You know? All right, so who's dealing with insecurity? And we got a red card, so this is in the root chakra. You guys are dealing with some insecurities, and you see how that heart is wounded? You don't want to let his heart out? But look how beautiful his heart really is. See all that light shining? And then this little guy over here, this little dude over here is like sun. And that's really self-created. So a lot of you have, I'm getting a download, okay. A lot of you have emotions. You have emotions that are clouding your aura. And the emotions that are clouding your aura created these entities. And these entities are stuck in a lot of your chakra systems. I'm getting like 3 people that they got this issue. One person's very bright. It's in here though. So, and this is what you'll learn in my course too, is channeling. And a technique I made up that works exceptionally well. I developed it myself through working with my clients, but you're going to learn how to remote through the subconscious mind. Girl, you need to hit me up after this. Stop playing. So the insecurity, and you guys are dealing with this in these, and you see how he even has his own little aura, and that's energy that he's stealing from this guy's heart. You know what I'm saying? And this could also represent this little dude where here it is. This little dude right here could also represent layers of pain, I'm about to channel really quick. You're feeling layers of pain. It's layers of people that hurt you, and it's one on top of the other on top of the other. And the issue is that it's the same story. So you're stuck in and this is great for what we're talking about tonight, you're actually stuck in a circle of time or a realm of reality that you created. And it feels like you're literally going in the same circle, and you're spiraling down instead of up right now. So you gotta pull it back up. You're descending. Wow, I think this is you, girl. Because it's a feminine energy. Oh, beautiful soul. She got so much love. Oh, what's your child self like? See, I'm going to start channeling now. Let me chill. Because y'all start going deep. I'll start figuring everything out about you that you ain't want nobody to ever know. The greatest adversary is the one living inside of me. And that's exactly what we were talking about here. Is that the greatest adversary is the person inside of you. So the greatest, those other energies that are self-created, you gotta shake them off, baby. You gotta shake those off. Miraculous changes lie ahead. This is the time for it. So claim those changes, even if they seem hard at first. It's all going to work out in a way that you'll be able to see where it actually ended up benefiting you. It is based on perspective, y'all. So if you don't have the perspective to see it, you're not going to be able to really make those changes, like to see what the good that it brought you. So you got to change your perspective to one of good. Life always changes. Look, life always takes a turn for the better. What did I just say? When we face our demons, stay on course. Trust that an ally will appear. The gift of adversity is never given without the ability to overcome it. Can I get an ashe? Ashe. Being courageous, facing adversity, finding tremendous power within. And you know, this is great because this is really Demon Red Rainbow. Interesting. One of my first actions. So the whole thing is that, and it's just funny how that's really gonna go into the topic. That end part. I don't even know what the hell I said. I'll be changing. No. Look, you're in the part I see here. Come on now. Synchronicities are crazy. Freedom. So we're going to be actually dealing with liberty tonight. Undervaluing your contribution. The ability to overcome. Yes. And man, I just want you guys to know, I'm going to get into the topic now. So we're dealing with the air and water. You guys are all tapped in and spiritual and beautiful. Y'all are kind of wow. That's why y'all are on my page. Girl, please hit me up so I can help you, so we can get you on the right path, because this is what I do. And I do this because I love it. It's my sole purpose. Y'all don't even know the kind of pain that I went through in my own life because I don't speak about it. And the truth is that the most joyous among us that really been through some shit, the reason why they smile so much is not to hide the pain. It's because you feel real joy when you overcome. If you're smiling to hide pain, you need to cry and stop bullshitting yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're smiling to hide pain, you need to go cry somewhere. And nobody's going to make you feel bad for crying. Crying is really powerful. I cried a lot. Spent a lot of time depressed. Got over that shit. Spent a lot of time not knowing what the fuck I came here to do. I spent a lot of time feeling like I didn't matter. You know? But it's not so much that you need to matter to others. You need to matter to yourself. You know, y'all getting a little bit of y'all getting some big mama talk right now. You need to matter to yourself first and foremost. You need to, set your own standards and figure out what you really want for your reality. And be compassionate with yourself. Fill your own cup up. And then as that begins to overflow, you can really love and appreciate and help others. That's what it's all about. I don't know why I'm shuffling this. That's one of that message. I don't know what the fuck is good with these cards tonight. They are just talking. And baby, look at this. Baby, stop playing with me. Because this shit is real. We got a crystal yellow dragon. And what are we dealing with? The solar plexus. Opens you to higher learning and wisdom. Expand your crown chakra or illumination. Walk the higher spiritual path. We just talking about finding your soul purpose. That's why I felt like the card was like about to come through. I just want to decide I'll research that one with another message. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there so much energy? I guess tonight is the night for it. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. That was a nice interlude, though. Doing that healing work, doing that loving work, the healing work. I love the healing work. That stuff really makes me, just brings me joy. I'm creating my whole existence around that. And you guys, when you figure out, if you don't know already, because a lot of you know already, and then it's just staying the course. But when you figure out what your soul purpose is, everything will fall into alignment for you. It'll feel effortless. There's this vibration of ease. And it really you can feel it moving throughout your body. It's like being in water, like moving in water. When you start to hit that vibration of ease, and that vibration really expands your consciousness and your reality, because so many of us come to a space where that vibration of ease isn't something that we'll generally come across, because we're taught that we have to work so hard, and that in order to get anything done, you need to work hard, but you really need to be working smart and working with the way your energy moves. Like some people who are up late, if you're up late and that's your normal thing, work within your own patterns. Don't try and get up early and be somebody you're not. And that's the whole thing with knowing yourself, because society is going to give you all these preconceived notions about you. But you need to know yourself, because that's how you figure out what's really going to work personally. And that's also giving yourself love, respect, nurturing. You know what I mean? So many people are going to come against you, and especially when you're on your path, they come against you stronger. And it's because people who don't believe in themselves or love themselves enough to discover what their ultimate truth is are always going to try and push down those who know what their ultimate truth is and who are looking to really live their most fulfilling reality. So don't let those kinds of people come into your reality and try to steal your joy. Your joy is yours, and it comes from within, not from without. It doesn't come from what you have or don't have, or what work you put in or didn't put in. I actually am saying I do this kind of work, the work that I like to do. But it's this sense of gratitude. You know, it's that sense of just gratitude for your own soul. Now, all that being said, let's get into the conversation, the topic of conversation tonight. And I did put the blog post in the description. It's called Rings of Time, Questioning Reincarnation. Now, this topic came up this week in a phone conversation I had. And we were watching a clip from a video. And this gentleman was, I guess, a master teacher, and he had some students around him, and they're speaking on reincarnation. And I was like, that's bullshit. This is an old concept. And so we are not here to feed into old concepts that no longer serve us. You incarnated to evolve the concepts. So I'm all about evolution. Even if something is wrong, I want it to come out so that everybody can pick it apart and question it. So that everybody can come together and be like, well, I think this and I think that. I like creating more of a forum. You know what I mean? For conversation. And you are all absolutely welcome. I put a poll in the last one. You are all absolutely welcome to have your opinion on reincarnation. Now, the way that I do believe that you reincarnate if you want to. And I don't believe that anyone is trapped here. So, any soul being, you're not trapped here. Because how could you be? Like, how could you be trapped here if you're living a multidimensional reality? How could you assume you can go into meditation and go into different realms and worlds? You could take plant medicine, and now all of a sudden you're somewhere else. So, like, where in your mind did you start to believe that you were trapped, and that there was this bondage and these chains on you? Where in your mind did you begin to believe that you didn't have a say in this? You know, it's kind of like passing the buck. It's kind of like taking the blame and giving it over to someone else because you can't believe in yourself. Well, I'm not ready. That's like being a child. You're not an adult yet. You're still a child. I don't think that I'm ready to take responsibility for myself. You're passing the buck. So a couple things that I touched on in the blog post. I touched on the concept of self-governing. And I want to speak on self-governing because self-governing is really simply the ability to have empathy. That's it. For others. in your relationships. So you're going to be judging yourself in your thoughts, actions, and feelings. And as you can learn, and don't be too hard on yourself, a lot of us are, but be fair. Be a fair judge. And that's, I believe, the only reason why we manifested a government outside of ourselves is because people have lost the ability to actually self-govern. So they lost the spiritual gift that gives you empathy, and that's intuition. They lost their connection with nature. They lost their ability to move force. And in that, they became into a fallen state as a sleeping god, essentially, or as a sleeping titan. Okay? So as we decide to really come into the self and learn our own version of discipline, our own version of what works for us, our own version of self-governing, then you can really come to a space where you will begin to achieve sovereignty. Okay? Now, the reincarnation traditionally essentially is saying that there is a good way of being when you're here, and there is a bad way of being when you're here. So reincarnation will tell you that there's this good way. If you do this thing the right way, then when you reincarnate, you either won't have to reincarnate, or when you do reincarnate, you'll reincarnate into a better life. Okay. And then if you do the wrong thing, whatever that is, right? Bad things will happen and you'll reincarnate into a worse life or a lower life form. First of all, to make things clear, in Gaia's eyes, all life matters. So there's no lower life form. They're just different. Second thing, when we lose perspective, when we get lost in duality, we really begin to not see the true nature of things. So as you get lost in duality, you begin to not see the true nature of things. For example, if you're in a political party or whatever, there's that left-right wing thing. When one person is too extreme left and when the other person is too extreme right, when they talk to someone that's in the middle and that is really walking a middle path, they both sound stupid. Another thing is that bad is just a perception. So for an example, and I actually wrote this in the blog post, for an example, if somebody decides to steal, right? Most of us would agree that that's bad, that yeah, stealing is bad, but if somebody decides to steal an apple because they were starving, we could have empathy for that situation and nobody would really judge and say that, oh, that thing was so bad. See what I mean? So even the concept of good and bad is based on perception and perspective. So you really have to even question that concept. Now this is not about anarchy. It's about self-governing, which means you need to cultivate self-discipline. And all this circles back to reincarnation, I promise. It's just something that needs to be added in so we can understand what the nature of reincarnation actually is. So getting back on track. So as we really come to a space that we can understand that there are areas that are shaded gray, and that in different parts of the world there are different perspectives, and that nothing is really in black and white. There's always a middle path, a middle pillar. You start to understand really the nature of sovereignty. And when someone is lost in somebody else's definition of good and bad, you end up in a circle. You end up trapped in a circle. So now you put yourself in bondage, right? So the government of the land would be one circle of bondage. Okay. So now I want to be religious, right? So now that's another circle of bondage. So And then within the religion, maybe there's a pastor or priest or whatever that's the head of the church. Another circle of bondage. So now I want to listen to what my parents are saying, and I want to be a really, really good person and from their perspective. And who the hell knows what that means these days? But another circle of bondage. So now you gave away so much of your sovereignty that you are essentially affirming that you are a baby in an adult's body. You are not an adult soul. You are not an advanced soul. You're a baby soul, because you need 4 circles of power or government to govern you. Instead of breaking away from those circles and saying, you know what, I need to take personal responsibility and govern myself. I need to find a way to govern myself. Okay? So then it becomes a system where instead of passing the buck and saying it's your job to make sure I do the right thing. No, it's your job to have personal integrity to do the right thing for you. Now, that being said, let's get into the emotions. Now, a lot of people will get lost in their emotions. Essentially, a lot of individuals, and I've seen this in a lot of groups where they're like, oh, fuck this world, I'm not coming back or whatever. And I'm like, these people haven't figured it out yet. You haven't figured it out yet. You're saying fuck this world, blah, blah, blah. I'm not coming back because you're angry. Where is your anger stemming from? Your anger is stemming from your perceived suffering. Where does suffering come from? Your suffering is really coming from a space that you are having a sort of sense of entitlement. You are creating a perception that I deserve this and I can't have it. So now I'm going to be, now I'm suffering. I want this and I feel I can't have it or I can't achieve that. So now I am suffering. So suffering is a self-created perception. And with that perception of suffering, we really get so lost in that emotion that we're like, oh, fuck this place, I don't want to come back. When the whole thing is that, why haven't you been practicing gratitude? Gratitude is affirming in your own, it's taking personal responsibility and affirming in your own reality that you have whatever you already are thankful for. You see what I mean? It makes a huge difference to choose gratitude instead of choosing suffering. Now, what the emotions are a compass. And the reason why people get lost in their emotions is because they don't understand how the emotions actually work. Now, when we are in a joyous, happy, gratitude, higher vibrational state, generally speaking, you can look at your emotions as a compass and your soul purpose is your true north. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm feeling good. I'm good. I think I got it. Okay, I'm following that, But when we are in a negative feeling state, essentially what ends up happening is that we're like, oh, what the fuck does this thing do? What do I even have it for? And the compass means nothing to you because you don't know the mechanism of your own emotion. So not knowing the mechanism of your own emotion puts you in a negative feeling state, and because of suffering, you believe that you are trapped. You're never trapped. Now, moving on, we're going to speak about why you are never trapped and why it is false to believe that you are trapped, to believe that you were ever trapped here. When I go into a meditation, this is a good example, and I use this in my blog post as well. The blog post goes more in depth in some of these concepts. Now I go into a meditation, right? So do my thing, go into my meditation. In my meditation, I can perceive any realm or reality which I desire. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. I'm gonna put it off. So with that being said, I had a meditation one time where I was actually above the earth. And in that meditation, I was directing energy. So I was only an energy body. I didn't have a physical body. I didn't even have a face or anything. It was pure energy. And I'm like, I can still communicate, but it's more telepathic. And I have a male energy coming in, and it was a young energy. So I had to show him where I needed him to go on the earth, and I had to explain to him why his energy coming in was so important. So I did that. I showed him where to go. And then when I came out of my meditation, but the fact that I can access a higher state of consciousness, and I can go into all these, I've been to the gold realm, I've been to the primordial realm, I've been to, so many different places. I'm a traveler, low key. I'm thankful for that. So with that being said, being that you have the ability to, and we all have these latent abilities, and if you want to open up those psychic abilities, please click the link, re-register for the soul work. When you do pre-register, I have a special offer that I'll be offering. You won't get it in the first email, you'll get it in the next one, the follow-up. But classes are starting September 1st. This is a master class for opening your psychic abilities. And it's thorough. It's 10 years of my work. Okay? You guys are gonna get that in 6 weeks. So it's gonna be thorough as fuck. So anyway, back to the subject. So the whole thing is that you're actually a multi-dimensional being. So you being this Titan or this God or this, I am the all, I am that I am, this extravagant thing. How can you be that and say all that, right? And then also say, I'm trapped in the cycles of life. I'm trapped in reincarnation. What makes you think that this wasn't a conscious choice? And what makes you think that you can't pull yourself out of it when your higher self is ready? That's why connecting with the higher self is so imperative. Man, know thyself. It's imperative. And the reason why it's imperative is because if you're not connecting with your higher self, if you're not connecting with your soul, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know why you're here, when you're here. You can't perceive your past lives. You can't even understand what you're doing in other realms, and you can't understand the nature of the multidimensional reality that you are existing in. You can't understand your morphogenetic field. You can't understand anything. And you can't even understand when you're connecting with a real ancestor from a deity that's pretending to be an ancestor. You can't even read the nuances of the energies. If you want to be an adept, you got to do adept shit. I feel like I need to plug my course again, because that shit is that's everything you're learning. But I say. How does one connect with the Mayat? Message me after this, and we're gonna chat a little bit. I got you. And you connect you have to go through in order to, you go within in order to go out. So it's like you go through to go out. You have to go within. And isn't that the most clever thing ever, that we hid everything within ourselves? And we tricked ourselves into believing that this perceived reality was not our doing? So clever. So clever. And then you make yourself forget who you are cosmically, so that you can have an authentic experience. I think that is so clever, and that really allows for authenticity. Okay, I have an inkling that my battery's about to die. Let me check, because this is slowing down. Nah, we're cool. Good. We're good. Does anyone have any questions? right now? I know Mayat asked about how does one connect with the higher self. Is going to be through, the short answer is through meditation. But does anyone have any questions on spirituality, on the use of your spiritual tools, on spirit baths, because I do a little bit of everything around here. Let me close out really quick before I even answer questions. But if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. So the whole thing is that the concept of reincarnation, as we used to know it, is okay. So this concept of reincarnation, this concept of being trapped, this concept of being punished in some sort of way by some being that none of us know and can't even see, it needs to evolve. It is at this time not applicable, just by the nature of so many souls and solar beings being on the planet. The concept needs to evolve. And I welcome anybody who has a comment on it. I welcome you to comment. Please leave your comments. Leave your whatever you want to go through. Leave it. I want all perspectives on this, not just my own. And let me make sure I touched on everything really quick. Multidimensional, not bondage, but liberty. Choose. There you go. Your soul, perfect. Your soul is boundless. Why are you creating chains? Why is it so hard to believe that you control your reality? Why is it so hard to believe that you are all powerful? Is it too much responsibility? Is it easier to act as a child when you deserve to be treated as an adult? We have to question these things. You have to question the concept of good and bad, and really come to a space that you can begin to open up your mind. There's so much more. The only time that you're wrong, so to speak, is when you start to tap in and become more empathic. You can feel the pain that you cause others. You can feel their heart. And if you could feel their heart so deeply, that you would violate them and hurt them, that is when you could be considered wrong. And the only true crime is that when you hurt them, you feel it within yourself. So what makes you think that they are not you and you are not them? Okay. I am me and you are me. That's it. That's why when I do chakra readings, there's a new skill I developed actually. I can actually do energy work on people's chakras from within my own body. And I will connect that deeply typically with women, not so much with men unless they're very innocent and pure of heart. But I can connect with your chakras. Why can I do that? Why can I connect with your chakras as if they're mine? Why can I see your thoughts? Why can I feel your intentions? Because I am you and you are me. We are one. And that's all there is to it. So have a multidimensional perspective. Claim your sovereignty. Get out of religionism. Choose empathy. Choose gratitude. Choose your joy. Find your soul purpose and follow your true north. That is all I have to say tonight. I'm all done. I'm going to just check the comments for questions and then I'm out of here. And I very much appreciate you all, and I very much appreciate this transmission this evening. Alright, we had a couple. I think I might be Neil from the Matrix, low key. Don't tell anyone. I think my soul family knows the truth. Okay. So, why is this acting weird? Okay, I can see the comments now. So, do we act? So, my aunt Lane asks, so do we act as a certain being to not take full responsibility for our actions? Okay. So, when you are a child, so essentially you come to Earth to forget and experience individuality. Because when all is one, and in the allness of it, and the oneness of it, you don't know truly who you are unless you can experience the opposite, which is individuality. So it's like our souls are like fucking renegades, or like spiritual warriors when you come here, because you're like, what can I really do? But with that being said, this isn't your only reality. This is only a projection of your higher self. So you are actually in a multidimensional reality. You have a multidimensional perspective. So that's that question. No Zelo asked, so what happens to an ancestor when they reincarnate back here? Maybe I should get clarification on ancestors. Do they choose to be a guide and not come back? Okay. So even in the astral plane, your ancestors, even though they have higher dimensional selves, your ancestors can choose to leave an aspect of themselves behind in order for you to have guidance. You tap into your ancestors by tapping into your own DNA. So your ancestors and you are essentially one, because your ancestors are already inside of you. You're like the newest version or model of them. You're all their DNA in one. Your ancestors can choose to reincarnate. It just depends on what their soul mission was, how much of that they got done, and how connected they are with their higher selves. They can choose to be a guide and not come back, though. They can leave that one aspect and be like, you know what, I'm good. I want to have another experience now. You can choose at any time to have another experience. This is not a bad place to be. This place is amazing. Okay. I love you guys. Okay, my computer's glitching out, which means it's probably about to die. We had a great talk. If you guys need me for anything, please message me. I work in the space of integrity. I'm not trying to get you for your money or anything like that. I make a living off this work, but my intention is always to help you. Since I was a kid, I've been saying I wanted to change the world, and I'm doing it one client at a time, one video at a time, one post at a time, changing the world. And I just want to change your world if you would allow me. So I love you guys. I love you, soul family. You guys have my heart. Good night, guys. Loved this conversation.